I am a victim of my own success. Conquest. I don't even get a real name.
Conquest was a one-dimensional character in the comics. His sole purpose was quite literally to be a punching bag for Mark, to be a challenge, an obstacle even, to push Mark to his breaking point physically and mentally. A character to completely shift Mark's perspective on heroism and what it means to save lives with just one encounter. Robert Kirkman specifically crafted Conquest for this role without giving Conquest a purpose of his own. That is until episode 8 of Invincible came out.
I don't even get a real name. Only a purpose. I am capable of so much more, and no one sees it.
And stop. This right here is all it took to turn a one-dimensional character into a three-dimensional character, to whom which the audience can empathize, hell, even sympathize with. Taking something as small as a character's name, but turning it into a lens so we can see the character in a different light truly speaks volumes to the storyboarders and writers of Invincible. This is how comic books should be adapted. Here, we have a character who throughout the entire episode we are told that he is the strongest Viltrumite we have ever seen, even stronger than Nolan, and yet towards the end of the episode he seems the most fragile. Him trauma dumping on Mark because the only way he can be vulnerable himself is to make someone else physically vulnerable. I absolutely love the idea that Conquest longs for companionship. He longs to not be alone. But he can never get that because he does what everyone else in the Viltrum Empire does, but better. In fact, he does it so much better that he is alone because of it. Other Viltrumites don't want to talk to him because he comes off as a genocidal maniac, which is pure hypocrisy because they all are. And since Viltrum built their entire identity on strength, he can't just give up being Conquest, because then he'll just be more ostracized than he already is. All he has is this purpose. And honestly, the audience is just like the Viltrum Empire. For those who read the comics, we were ready to see Conquest. We wanted to see him and Mark fight and destroy cities and be this cool big bad threat. Kinda just like how the rest of Viltrum sees Conquest. They see him as this killing machine. Hell, the killing machine. We aren't looking at him as a character or as a person, only an event. A spectacled killer. So really good on the writers for capitalizing on this point. To throw us and put us in the same shoes as Conquest's emotional oppressors. And there is something uniquely frightening and somber on how Conquest opens up. He only does so when he knows that he is about to finish someone off. This scene reminds me of Attack on Titan, more specifically the scene where Eren opens up to Ramsey about destroying the world. Eren only does this because Ramsey doesn't speak Eldian, so he is unable to understand what Eren is saying because they speak an entirely different language. This allows Eren to be vulnerable. And virtually, it's the same thing with Conquest here. The only time he is able to be vulnerable is when he is doing his purpose. And when he's killing people, this actually allows him to vent out his feelings and frustrations to his victims. It's ironic because this is the person Mark wanted to talk to earlier in their fight, when Mark asked Conquest to stop fighting and listen. However, Mark was too strong for Conquest to even think about opening up to talk. It's only when Mark is on the verge of death, Conquest finally allows himself to open up. And not to bash the original source material, but this is loads better than the Conquest in the comics. Conquest in the comics is a cool spectacle, but Conquest in the show is a great character. And he is the perfect demonstration on how you should adapt a character. Don't destroy a character's identity, and definitely don't make a new one to fit modern time. But as a writer, you are allowed to expand on a character, to give him more definition, give him more than just a purpose. That being said, I'm Brandon Man. I do a lot of videos based on anime, movies, comics, video games, books, whatever, anything nerdy. I'll probably talk about it. So if you like that stuff, make sure you like, subscribe, go through my channel, see what you like, see what you don't like. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Toodles.